I will call her Glam Ma. And she's so techy. Ha. If you go to her Instagram page, facts. She's very, very inspiring. She's done a lot of great things, and her
is a
biography will tell you more.
professional,
Please let's look at the biography of
multi-dimensional
Mrs.
marketing
Iquo
advisor,
Ukoh. Thank you.
distinguished fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Marketing, and a highly respected veteran within the West African marketing communication space. She's the Chief Executive Officer of N3rd Marketing, a marketing consultancy company with an array of practical expertise in helping brands and businesses drive sustainable growth within the African context. Having managed many global brands for Nestle Nigeria, she has strong flexibility in adapting global strategies to local application, delivering accelerated market growth. Mrs. Ukoh serves on the board of several companies, to mention a few: Non-Executive Director, Sarah Life Care Limited, Chairperson, Advisory Board, Eco Innovation Center, Advisory Board of Baby Food Company, Jade and August Secret Limited, Executive Director, Board of Nestle Nigeria. Mrs. Ukoh is also the founder of OneQFoodPlatter.com, a Nigerian food blog that celebrates the quintessence of Nigerian food space. Through her platform, she advocates preventive health and helps people make healthy choices via her food recipes, nutrition, and gardening tips. Mrs. Ukoh recently published her food book, Memories on a Platter: My Journey with Nigerian Foods, a documentation of the rich and diverse foods and culture of Nigeria. BSS women, please welcome Mrs. Iquo Ukoh.
Should I say good day? Because I don't know if this is being beamed virtually. Thank you so much. Look, the dancing, I can't remember how long ago we danced like this. And my goodness, that fashion show, it was something else. I think the Gucci's of this world should come and learn from us. Good morning, ladies, and I should say gentlemen as well, because I can see a few of them here. I have been told to share a bit about my career. Part of it you already heard. But I think it's more about the learning I have taken from over 34.5 years. I always insist on putting that 6 months extra that I spent. I think my whole career was in Nestle Nigeria, never worked anywhere else. Straight after youth service, I went into Nestle. And trust me, those 34 years were indeed a school. It was an incredible journey, which I'm supposed to share this with you in 20 minutes. I don't know how you condense 34 years into 20 minutes, but I'll try. For me, this is wishing everybody a happy independence celebration, and I believe filled with hope for a better and greater Nigeria. Let me extend my sincere appreciation to Pastor Bola Olawale for inviting me to the 2023 Body, Soul, and Spirit Conference. I don't know how many women this conference has touched since inception. I think 13 years ago I heard now. But I believe it would be in the thousands, if not millions, directly and indirectly. I had the opportunity whilst working in Nestle to be part of this conference a couple of times. And I must say that the tenacity of Bola needs a round of applause. Actually, a standing ovation, please. A standing ovation. Because, honestly, I don't know who leaves this show, and she's still coming back. Guys, remember that she does not stay in Nigeria, but she insists on traveling, paying her fare to come to bless us. Please, can we clap for her again? Bola, I pray God blesses you in ways He alone knows. For me, this is a clear example of a woman helping other women thrive. Thank you again, Bola. God bless you. When I accepted this invitation, or why did I accept this invitation? I believe it is my moral obligation and my pleasure always to share experiences and learnings in my career and some aspects of my life journey with women, especially those younger than me. I retired at the statutory age of 60, and I've been close to 8 years in retirement, so do some maths there. I believe God took me through the journey of my career so that I get some benefit and other women benefit as well. Your today's reality may be different from mine, but the principles of life do not change that radically. I hope that the few stories and tips I'll share could help in making your own journey even more meaningful and impactful for humanity than mine could have been. I am here, therefore, to challenge you to be more, because we can be more. Please, can we say, I am more? Can we repeat that again? I am more. Now, to be more, let me ask us this question. Who are you? It's a very simple question. I didn't say, how are you? I said, who are you? When the designation of wife, mother, auntie, sister, CEO, or Dr. Mrs., and many accolades that you might have accumulated is removed before your name, who really are you? What is your purpose on planet Earth? Really, why did God create you? And what is your assignment? Go. We each have to answer this question for ourselves. When we can answer this question, you get to know your reason for being, and you truly realize that you can be more than you currently are. This helps to guide the roadmap in life's journey. Start with what you love doing, even if you're not going to be paid for it. You see, when my sister said something about, you have this kettle in your kitchen, you have this pot, you love cooking, that might be where that purpose is embedded. So think of that thing you love doing, and even if you're not being paid for it, you still would love to do it. When I get to talk a little bit about my story with food, sometimes I'm amazed at myself. 9 p.m., the kitchen is closed, everybody is upstairs, and one idea comes. I want to create a recipe, and I'm jumping into the kitchen at 9 p.m. to create a recipe that nobody's going to eat. Somewhere there, you might find your purpose. By the way, you most likely will find different expressions of your purpose in different seasons and different stages of your life. So that purpose would find expression differently when you're young and when you're older. The second question, which could be linked to the first, is what does success mean to you? Or what does success look like to you? Today, I challenge you to think again about life's journey, your life's journey footprint. What will those that have interacted with you say about you? Again, my challenge to you is you can be more. I think I'm supposed to go to that podium now. So maybe that would help. And also bring me closer to us. Can I hear from the back again? I can be more. Beat your chest. I can be more. This more I'm talking about, we will get to talk about it. And it is beyond your job. It is beyond your business. I think the more is the kind of thing my sister is doing with orphanages. That's what I'm talking about. Now, looking back, the two things I can attribute to my ending up as the first woman on the board of directors of Nestle Nigeria were, number one, God's grace and mercy, the unchanging God. I am a woman God has helped. If you think of it, I read nutrition, and dietetics. I had no business in marketing, didn't read marketing in school. But I ended up being the first woman to be the marketing manager of Nestle Nigeria. Also, because, when we tell beautiful stories of success, remember that there were challenges and pitfalls. And to come out of those challenges and pitfalls could have been done only on your knees. If you know how fierce and lethal some corporate environments are, you can only survive on your knees. Remember, a woman in a man's world, so to speak, but God saw me through. The second point was that my vision was clear. After 18 months of my journey in Nestle Nigeria, my vision was to be the first female marketing manager and to go on to be the MD. That was my dream. This was a company where I think till today no woman has been the MD, by the way. And this company must have been close to 60 years in Nigeria. Well, yes, I did become the first marketing manager. I skipped the MD position and ended up on the board of Nestle Nigeria. But more importantly, I loved what I did. And I constantly raised my own bars, upskilling myself as I went along. So my focus was less on promotions and elevations, but those things came as a natural outcome of how I worked, which my sister has alluded to, excellence. I think the men couldn't even take that away from me, excellence. Being in a career or business is a season. Enjoy the ride and find ways to influence others positively. Now that I'm retired, ladies, because this is the moment of truth, when you have left all the glamours, when you have left the who is who to who are you. Enjoy the ride. Now that I'm retired, when I meet former colleagues, they are not reminding me of how many cases of products I sell or how I achieved all of those things I achieved in the business. Rather, I'm reminded of things I did for them personally and not for the company. I met a former colleague recently, and as he chatted with me, he said, "Mama," as most of them call me, "I can never forget that time you took me into your office to coach me and rehearse my presentation with me. I was not your direct subordinate," he said, "but you saw that the presentation was going to decide my fate in the company, and you made it your business to help me." That's what people remember about you. Be kind, ladies, be kind. Be kind to your employees. Be kind to your colleagues. I know some people who cannot visit places they have worked in. They can't go there again. You know what? From the gate, as they call, somebody will say, "Oh, Mrs. So-so-so is here." I beg. That's what you hear. So how did you make them feel when they were with you? I think for me, that's even more important than the job itself. But let me just share, and I'm going to run through this, a few tips about surviving in career and somewhat business, because like I said, most of my life has been spent in the career side. You have to have your vision. It has to be clear. In the organization where you are, please be clear why you are there. It should not be about, I'm earning a salary and that is it. Be selfish, let me put it that way. What are you taking from them? Is it the business process that you want to learn? Is it something about the simple way of managing a meeting efficiently that you're going to take away from there? Make up your mind that as I step out of this organization, this is what I'm going to take away from them. The next thing I have here is position yourself for growth and be realistic. Upskill for the next stage as you go. I joined Nestle as a medical rep, you know, what we call a medical rep. You know, what we did then was, because my background is nutrition, we'll go to hospitals to talk to doctors and nurses about baby food, because this business was highly regulated. I read marketing journals and interacted with brand managers. My medical delegate story in transiting from medical delegate to marketing is simply that the then marketing manager called for, it was 1989. You know, we're having SAP. I guess many of us here were not born then. But it was a similar situation we have in Nigeria now. It was called Structural Adjustment Program. Import licenses were not allowed in organizations. A lot of those companies were going through challenges. And so the marketing manager said, please, he doesn't mind where any idea would come from, because understand that at this time there was nothing like Google for him to Google for ideas, so he had to depend on us. So I wrote this piece. Incidentally, I keep that piece till today because it was typed on a typewriter. You know, for those that still remember, you would have the white copy and you have the pink copy. I still have my pink copy where I wrote from my heart what should be done for all the product categories. When I look at that document, even today, I ask myself, if this was not God that wrote this, I don't know who did. Because honestly, I was writing like a marketing person as at that time. And remember, I wasn't in marketing. In any case, that was how I crossed to marketing. The other thing I want you to, the third point here is ask for what you deserve. That is after you've put in the work. I like stories, so let me tell you another interesting story. I said, ask for what you deserve. I had been in marketing, I can't remember how many years now. I was a group brand manager. I mean, for those that are in marketing, you'll understand what that is. And I was inching towards my 50s. We went for the annual appraisal. Appraisal means, for those that are not in corporate organizations, every end of the year you sit across the table with your boss and he will tell you, you did this right, you did that right, you need to improve this and you need to improve that. So after the appraisal, my boss then was a white South African. He finished and he said, Iquo, so, what next? Quite an interesting question, and I love that. I said, Richard, I want to sit where you're sitting. Ooh. This guy went red. He was a smoker. I felt he could what he wanted to do was to light his cigarettes immediately. When he had recollected himself, he said, okay, so if you don't get to sit here because I'm not living here now, what happens? I said, Richard, you would leave, and when you leave, I want to sit there. And he said, okay, but if that doesn't happen, what? I said, Richard, no hard feelings. If I can't sit there, then I'll find my expression somewhere else. I have given all that I need to give at the level of a group brand manager, and I want to be sitting where you're sitting. Now, why do I need to sit there? Why do I need to be promoted? It goes back to being more. Because with authority, you get to be more. Because, face it, the kind of authority the president of a nation has is not the same thing as a governor, right? So depending on where you sit, you can move certain things. And that was the purpose for me. So, ladies, ask for what you deserve. Because I find out that for most of us women, you are an engineer, the man is an engineer, and in terms of negotiation for that contract, the man most likely gets more than you're getting. We should learn to ask. Now to be more, how about there's something called a SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, the opportunity, and your threats. You know yourself. Even if you don't go to opportunity and threats, stay with your strengths and your weaknesses. When you have analyzed this carefully, it helps you to market your strength. What are you good at? In a corporate organization, ensure valuable visibility in the system or in your industry. What are you known for? Are you a voice to be reckoned with at meetings? Close your gaps and manage your threats. Towards the end of my career, if at meetings, you're going to retire in a few, years' time. So for most times, you couldn't even be bothered at those meetings. But you know what I did? I don't know if time would permit me. And I'll talk about if you're going to be in a corporate environment at 50, you're going to be managing millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, if you know what those are, baby boomers. And so you have to know how to survive in that system. Guess what? I like to surround myself with young people, so I, dabbled into digital a lot. And I knew that most of the expatriates there didn't know anything about digital. So guess what? At meetings, I'll be dropping some lingos that I didn't even understand. They didn't understand either, but it helped. It positioned me as somebody who is still current. So you have to understand your own survival strategies. And yes, most of the time, maybe I'm wearing my 4 inches shoes, stiletto shoes. I strut through the corridor. And of course, you show some strength. Yes, when I get into my car, maybe by that time there's a muzzle pull, you deal with that. In a workplace, you would have politics. Apply emotional intelligence. They tell you get a sponsor because sometimes where decisions are taken, you are not there. There has to be somebody that should speak for you in those situations, or at least get a mentor. The way men operate in a system, and when you see the colleague you came in with, he's moving up, you start wondering, so what's happened? I'm working so hard. When he's in the nightclub with the boss, you're not there. You have clothes, you've carried your bag to go and tend to your family. So how do you survive? Or how did I survive? Of course, I can't go to the nightclubs. But guess what? Suddenly for a particular boss, I became his fashion police. And, most of the expatriates didn't even know, you have a clue. So, he'll come with some, crash of colors and things. I'll, just go to him and say, oh, Martin, I think next time you should do it like... subsequently, he started calling me his fashion police. You know what? There was some value I was bringing to his existence, sort of. Men and their ego. I can't go to nightclub, but certainly I can't do that. So, some, like they say, native intelligence. You have to apply that. Now, career moves. At the earlier stage, think cross-functional moves, either within the organization or find opportunity in other platforms to hone your skills. Market yourself for the next level. Act and speak the part. Acting and speaking the part was what I believe took me to the board. I was, I think about maybe 6 years before I retired, somebody came, a new regional manager came from Ghana, and I had to take a ride with him from Lagos to Agbara. And for me, it was my opportunity. He offered to sit in the car with me. It was my opportunity to absolutely sell myself. And I sold myself. And so by the time I was sitting with my immediate boss then, where the next question was, so what's the next step? I said, I think I can add value to the board of Nestle Nigeria. And that was how I got there. In the organization, even in business, find and keep an accountability partner, somebody that will tell you the truth. You see, in this era of social media where it is all likes and stuff, and we know they're not telling us the truth, please find somebody that can tell you the truth and give you a feedback. I'm an introvert. Just found myself in marketing. And many people, when I say that, they say, really, you are? And so I'm walking along the corridor, and I'm headed to my office. Sometimes drivers would greet, colleagues would greet, and I'm unconsciously not answering. It took a friend, she's still a friend, a colleague then, but a friend still to today, to say, Iquo, they say when they greet you, you don't answer. I said, Okay. I mean, now I kept my ears wide open to be greeting people and, okay. Now, learn to navigate the complex generational mix. Like I said, if you're in a corporate organization today, I wouldn't have survived, let me tell you that. Because I don't know how the Gen Zs operate. The Gen Zs are the ones that you come, you talk to them anyhow, they carry their bag, they leave your job and take off. First, they are not even ready to stay with you for 34, what? So if they're there with you for 2 years, you're lucky. So if you're heading this kind of thing, then you have to manage the 50-year-old, the 30-something that are millennials going to their 40, the Gen Zs and the Alpha. It's interesting, but that is the reality we have to manage. Network. Please, this is a golden opportunity Bola has, provided for us. Don't just sit with people on the table. Find out what they do, because the person next to you might just be your solution. So because when we hear this networking thing, we're thinking of 2 minutes. Oh, I have 2 minutes more. We're thinking of holding a glass of wine and standing in stiletto shoes. No, that networking can happen here. I have here, embrace technology. Women are guilty. But technology is our reality. In our work, in our businesses, in our spiritual life, sometimes we're worshiping online, you know that. Traveling, these days when you travel, there's nobody to go and fill anything for you. You get to that airport and you have to punch in things yourself. Banking, shopping. I can't remember when last I went to the open market, because I am doing everything online. And then on top of all of this, AI is upon us. If you don't know what that is, please Google it. Google it. Ladies, we can't escape. AI is here, is reality. There's nothing you can do about it. It will control our lives. So you better know it is called Alpha A and I. The other thing, quickly, because I think I'm 1 minute more, ask yourself, the job I'm doing, the business I'm doing today, based on technology, is that job going to be there in 5 years' time? Maybe not. What does your social currency look like on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn? LinkedIn in particular, if you're in corporate. Please, even if you're in business, because LinkedIn has opened its doors as wide as possible. So be sure what you're doing there. I know we are going to splash this event on our profile pages. That's good. But if an HR person is looking for you, they'll go there first. So whatever you paint there is what they'll use in assessing you. There are always setbacks. We can manage it. Let me jump to the home front, balancing the home front. You think that all of this climb from medical delegates to board was easy? It wasn't. Now, I pick one thing there, and that's for women, because this is our reality. When my sister asked some people to raise up their hands, people were not raising their hands. It doesn't matter. But many of us here are in charge of the homes. We're the one paying the children's school fees. You're the one paying the rent. Now, when you get that promotion, and they've given you this Land Cruiser Jeep, the first weekend that car lands, your husband wants to drive it to show his friends. You have to, there's this thing I always say, I call it SSCM, suffer, catch monkey. You have to apply native intelligence, because the man will frustrate you, for sure. Know how you navigate those things. I wish I had more time. I'll jump to self-care. We know what this is: rest, physical exercise, dieting, grooming, and all of that. Well, standing here, maybe I've managed to do something right. At 68, So, but it takes you deciding. It takes you deciding. It's about health. It's about health. I know that I was on a program on Channels TV, and I said, the size of your swallow should be tennis ball size. And everybody said, oh my goodness, what's that? I say, yes, because trust me, we are not lifting cement. Most of the times we're seated in our cars. The last bit, because I'm jumping now, and maybe I have a few seconds, preparing for retirement. Ladies, you will not work forever. You will not do business forever. In any case, work 60 years standard unless you declared your age. Business, after some time, you won't have the energy to run that business. Face it, it's the reality of life. Are you preparing to exit? For me, I started preparing 20 years before I exited. I started my food blog, I think 4 years before I exited. 1Q food platter. 7 years down the line, I've published a cookbook. I mean, this morning I was so excited when I saw an article of me and my book on, Essence magazine in the US carried an article on it. So sometimes my children are asking, Mama, are you sure you're in retirement? I said, I think so. I wish I had time to talk about the experience in retirement, but I think if you're in corporate, if you're in business, please understand that there will come a time, physically, you can't do that thing you're doing. So what are you doing to prepare for that time, for the winter years when, you'll have some time on your own, and what exactly are you going to be doing? And that thing that you're going to be doing, I hope, would go back to the more. The more meaning beyond the money, beyond the cars, beyond everything. What are you doing for humanity, just like Bola has done for us? Thank you very much.